All right, welcome back inside the Convention Center in Indianapolis, Indiana. Matthew Coller and ESPN's Courtney Cronin now stepping in as Sage is napping so he can go out and get sourced information for us for tomorrow, because that's what he'll definitely be doing later tonight, is just reporting, straight reporting, no fun, nothing else, just reporting for Sage. Courtney, where do you want to start? There was so much that we got today from Rick Spielman at the podium and then his private session with us. Which topic stood out to you the most?
Well, obviously, him shooting down the notion that the Vikings are looking to trade Stefon Diggs. I mean, as we talked about on the show last week, and as I kind of went off about pretty in-depth about last week, this is what we've been saying. It's what you and I have been talking about. It's the logical explanation here to why these trade rumors are just that. They're rumors. It's speculation. So I think that
There's truth to all rumors.
There's truth to all rumors, as we found out from Stefon last October. But, you know, the fact of the matter is the Vikings are not looking to trade Stefon Diggs. Now, it's not like Rick Spielman shut it down and said he will be on this team regardless of come hell or high water. But as far as his future, they are going forward with him. He is very much a part of their plan for 2020, which I think it's something like this where you talk about the big offseason news. That is big offseason news. Yeah, it's a little weird when it's deleted or allegedly deleted Instagram posts and skeptic tweets that make you wonder about whether a player wants to stay on a certain team, but that's just the fact of the matter. That was the discussion for the last few weeks, and I think it was a good clearing ground for Rick Spielman to get in the way of that and just kind of ambush it to the side.
So, yes, he did, by saying all the reasons why they love Stefon Diggs and why he should play here because he's under contract and everything else.
But we don't know from Diggs himself, which you asked Spielman point blank, has he expressed a desire to leave Minnesota or
there was
wanting
no
a trade?
answer there.
The answer was, no, I haven't talked to his agent, which also does not address whether he has specifically talked to Stefon Diggs.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting because both Adisa Bakari and Jeff Whitney, who are Diggs' representation, are here, and the Vikings will meet with both of them at some point this week, as they do with all the agents of players who represent the guys on their team and on their practice squad. So what I anticipate happening there is a very similar conversation, because his agency got him that 5-year extension 2 years ago. He is under contract through 2023. If he doesn't want to be here, and if the Vikings cannot get something really damn good for him, then he's going to be here regardless. I can't see a situation. Like, I know there have been a lot of people who've brought up, well, what if he pulls an Antonio Brown? What if he tries to force his way out and just be a complete,
too much money at stake,
nutcase and, get angry and do silly things like Antonio Brown did to force his way out? I can't see Stefon Diggs doing that. No. There's way too much money at stake. He had $40 million was totally guaranteed in that contract, and he still due some of that money. So if you act like if you try to force your way out and you become such a distraction where they're able to void that, nobody wants that money voided. So I think it's still like a no story, but a story, if you know what I mean, just because we are talking about it, because it has been addressed by somebody who obviously would be in the know, even though he's not going to say too much about it. But it's an important point nonetheless.
I think that he made it quite clear that the message to Stefon Diggs is, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
If you want out, that's not happening, because you signed an extension. And he was asked at the podium, and he was asked by us, and he started out both answers with, we signed him to an extension, which is a pretty clear message. We don't want to move Stefon Diggs, and if he wants to go, then he shouldn't have signed a contract extension to stay with us through, like you said, 2023. But the fact that he would not answer my question direct of, has Stefon asked you for a trade? The fact that he went with, well, we're meeting with his agent, said to me that either the answer is yes, that he did ask for a trade, or that they expect him to want a trade. Otherwise, you would just say no.
And not, no, I haven't talked to his agent yet. That was the answer.
Right.
And I remember I went back and looked because I was curious as to what Diggs specifically said last year when I point blank asked him, did you request a trade this week? And he said, I haven't communicated anything. And then I believe it was a follow-up of, has your agent reach out? And it was like, you'd have to talk to them. So he played it in a way that kind of would absolve him a little bit of any sort of controversy or just kind of any sort of putting him at the center of anything.
Right.
But this is a place where that type of stuff unfolds, and it's a place where we find out a little bit more, because it's not necessarily from these podium sessions where you get your best information, as we know, as Sage is going to find out tonight during his late night rendezvous at the Combine.
Late night reporting is what he is doing.
He's going to bed no later than 11 p.m.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure, just as soon as he is done getting all of his reporting done, he'll go back to his hotel room and he'll prepare for tomorrow's show. Is probably what's going to happen. Well, I think that there's, on both sides, both with Spielman and Diggs, there have been opportunities for someone to come tell us, hey, stop all this. Like, there's nothing to it. He is happy. He's going to be here. I don't know where this comes from. And no one's done that. Well, I asked specifically about even what was being talked about on ESPN and everywhere else, and Spielman sort of went, well, reporting isn't always accurate in the NFL.
I know, but I also think that he's going to be wise to never close a door unless it needs to be fully shut. Like, if they can get an offensive tackle and potentially even a draft pick or anything that would benefit the team, they're not going to say no to that for Stefon Diggs. It could be like, we didn't have any intent of trading him, but something better came along. So he's always leaving the door open for that, which I understand. Like, that's good business. To me, I actually took it as like, this is his way of dispelling the notion of the trade rumors and the speculation for now.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think any team, I think every player is always available for the right price. You know what I mean? Except like a very, very few elite
quarterbacks, usually.
Quarterbacks, yeah. Like, you know, there's, I think Spielman honestly handled that, except for your question, leaving that one door a little way too wide open on the one about, like, did Diggs himself just say no or yes?
Right.
Like, and I mean, saying yes would certainly open up a very big news story, but that's why the speculation exists, because no one has asked Stefon, no one has heard from Stefon, no one has heard directly, has this guy asked for a trade?
Right. And the fact that he didn't say no means yes, it has to. Otherwise, it's very easy to be like, no, I don't know why you guys are all talking about this. He hasn't asked for a trade. And it doesn't mean 100% yes, but it means that I would speculate much further toward yes, and that what he's really trying to tell us is that that doesn't matter. That if he has requested a trade, the answer is too bad. Right. Tough cookies. So,
but at least they know how he feels. Yeah, that's a good point.
I walked away thinking we know how everyone feels.
Yeah.
We know that he's not super thrilled, and we know that they're like, sorry, you're not getting traded because we like you, and we think you're really good at football.